Welcome, welcome, welcome to our live show. Good morning, everybody. How to attract younger women. Wow, this is going to be a very interesting discussion that we have this morning. Love is not judgmental. This is where we talk about all things relationship wise. My name is Marvin Kaine, and I am your humble guide on this incredible road to discovery, information, and intent. So we're being very intentional today. So as we take this journey together, we're going to be diving into often a controversial discussion. I guess when you deal with relationships, most of our conversations are quite controversial, intriguing at best. But when it comes to an older man, knowing how to attract a younger woman, and one thing we should add, let's add 2 points to this. When we talk about younger women on this channel, we're not talking about teenagers. We're talking about mature women. And when we look at our analytics actually tell us that most of the women that actually watch this channel are above the age of 30. Now, scientifically, when we talk about maturity, a mature woman is someone whose brain has solidified. So her brain is no longer soft. Her brain is now solid. That happens between the ages, depending what study you have chosen. I've chosen this particular study. That happens between the ages of 23 and 25 for women and 25 to 27 for men. So we're talking about people who, on the minimum, have met that requirement. The other side of this is that we're not advocates for older men looking out for younger women. But it is a point of view. I mean, we're advocates of love. We're not even advocates of men and women the same age finding love. We just think age really has very little to do with romance and the connections that people are able to have because everybody's experience is different. You can't walk in a person's shoes and have the same experiences that they have had. Now, there's a lot of societal norms, there are a lot of concerns that people have in the world today when it comes to age gap relationships, things regarding a woman's safety, and nowadays a man's safety because people take advantage of each other. What we're going to be talking about today is those connections that actually bring people together to have very positive and beneficial relationships. So we want to talk about the deeper aspects of an age gap relationship. So if you haven't already, before we get in, don't forget to subscribe and to like our channel. Tell a friend, share the video with someone. Our videos we think are very entertaining and exciting and of course very informative at the same time. Tomorrow we will be discussing some of the mistakes that older men make when they date younger women. We will try to refrain from such discussions today because today we're talking about how older women, or I should say how older men, can attract younger women. So if that being the focus, there's a power dynamic at play when it comes to these type of relationships. Shared interests, the power of shared interests. See, one thing that can bridge the gap of an age gap relationship is when people have things in common. When you have things in common and you can just do stuff together, you really forget about age. It's not like when you're in these relationships that you're thinking about age constantly. You're not. That would be weird. I mean, it's just like in any relationship. Your wife could be extremely beautiful. You notice it. You're comfortable. You're happy with the fact that she is. But you're not thinking about that all day long because there's some deeper parts to her that you enjoy knowing, right? And the same thing goes vice versa for the wife towards the husband. There's just things about him, like he's not just a provider. And so we're not talking about relationships where the stereotype is that the younger woman is with the older man because of his bank account. That's just ridiculous. Because women today make their own money. Women in the past made their own money. Some were chosen to be housewives, but now women are very academic. Women are very outgoing. Women make the world work better. I mean, that's just the reality of it as it comes true. So having those shared interests, those shared passions, being able to do stuff together. See, a lot of older men they pay attention. They kind of sit back and they watch the younger woman. They just become an observer. And as you've gotten older, men have learned how to read people based on experience. So we don't always have to have the same conversation that a younger person would have with like 20,000 questions. Like you have children, you're married, you got a boyfriend. See, older men don't ask questions like that. That's what the younger guys ask. Older men, they pay attention to what's going on. They don't just jump on to the love train with a younger woman. They may watch her for a while. They may observe her. I mean, if it's an online relationship, he may read her whole page, her post, and just kind of put together a personality of sorts. Whereas a younger man, wow, she's beautiful. Let me just send her a message. Older men don't do that. Older men are a little more slower. They've already been through the speed chase. They know where that ends. So finding someone with common ground can really be done at a distance. Let's say you're in technology and she's in technology. See, now you have a lot to talk about. Let's say you share the same religious beliefs. You have a lot to talk about. And a lot of those two things, careers and religion, are pretty much very strong bases for having effective communication and developing the groundwork that's necessary for a relationship to go forward. But then there's also emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is key. Now, scientists just really started talking about emotional intelligence, I want to say maybe 15 years ago. It's always been out there, it's just been not spoken about. Now, emotional intelligence, this is something that has nothing to do with age, but a person's ability to make a connection first with themselves so that they can make a connection better with a partner. Women appreciate a man that wants to connect with her emotionally. See, nowadays people just different. A lot of the young guys, they're just different. They don't know how to feel. They don't know how to interact. See, older men who have been fathers, older men who have been in relationships before, older men who have been influenced by the world are very sensitive to it. And so if a younger woman has a problem, it's not like you're on your own. It's a problem, got to deal with it. That's a you thing. See, they're not into a you thing. That's what young people say. That's a you thing. That's a me thing. That's a they thing. No, 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 no. It's a community. And women like the community because the community offers a variety of support. So younger partners appreciate emotional maturity. They appreciate a man who's grounded, who knows where he's going. So a man can attract a woman that way and just bridge a lot of gaps because he becomes many different things for her emotionally. The younger guy is just not interested in that, or he just doesn't know how. Not all, but some. Those that do, they generally get really nice women that they can just stay with forever. Those that don't, they get really nice women, but then it doesn't last forever because that's a skill set. That's learned behavior, something that's developed over time. So it's about creating a safe place for her, and women want to know that they're protected. And money is a protection. See, older men will not spend money on a younger woman just because he's trying to impress her, but because he knows money can protect her. So he may buy her, some safety gear for her car, or like, you need to get that fixed. A younger man will more likely say, you know what, you need to get that fixed. That's a her thing. An older man would be like, come on, let me take you to my mechanic. He's got a mechanic. He's accumulate a series of things that can protect her. And so she finds comfort in that. She finds some relief and some satisfaction in knowing that she's going to be okay. Even her family will notice that she's going to be okay. So a lot goes on there, but one of the main things and conversations I've had, like what's the number one thing that attracts younger women to older men? His confidence. But how does he use it? How does an older man use his confidence? You ever notice how sometimes when people talk and they make a mistake with their words, they backtrack? How you doing? Well, I didn't mean that. You know how sometimes they backtrack. They try to restate what they've already said. See, once you've spoken it, once it's been said, those words come out of your mouth, you can't take it back. And that's kind of the premise that an older man lives his life on. See, he knows everything is intentional, everything he does is deliberate. And behind that intentional activity, there's a purpose. Younger women find that extremely attractive, a man's confidence. A man who says what he's going to do and actually does it after. Now, I'm not saying all older men are this way because there's some older men that act like teenagers. Matter of fact, there's some older men that can learn from teenagers because there's some better acting teenagers than some older men out here. But for the most part, we're talking about how confidence can be very attractive no matter the age. See, an older man is also attracted by the confidence of the younger woman. See, he needs to know too that she can handle this, that she can put up. See, older men at different stages, not all the time, they will really do an interrogative type of questioning, especially when they know you're having a problem. They're trying to find out instead of assuming what you've done. They're trying to find out directly because they want to just save time. They don't want to waste any time in the development of this conversation they're about to have with you. So they're going to ask you questions. And as they ask, they analyze and they put together a plan. See, what they're trying to do, again, older men are always in that protective stage. They're always wanting to protect the younger woman. And it's about being secure in himself, but also making her feel secure in herself. See, life experiences comes with many choices already made. And those already made choices are what saves people from a lot of foolery and trouble and challenges and pain. We call that wisdom. Wisdom comes with age. It really does. But see, you don't have to be wise to know. I shouldn't say you don't have to be like 50 years of age to know that touching a hot stove is not a good idea. You don't even have to touch the stove to know that it's hot. You can see the heat. See, that's what wisdom is. Wisdom is putting into action knowledge, using your knowledge to grow, right? So older men have a wealth of wisdom because they know now if they're going to be honest about what they know, they won't do certain things because they know it's not productive. It's counterproductive. It's going to hurt. It's going to create more challenges than are necessary. So, life experiences, life lessons, sharing these experiences with a younger woman, she's just going to want you to talk at this point. And sometimes the older man doesn't always feel like talking because he doesn't want to feel like he's a counselor. He wants her to always feel like his equal. So he may kind of shy away at times, but when he gets his opportunity, he's going to talk. And when he talks and unloads that wealth of information, oh, that younger woman, she is attractive. And for her, that's going to be the deal maker for her. It's the stories that he tells. That's why sometimes you look at these really gorgeous younger women with these really unmanaged older men. When I say unmanaged, their hair's going in one direction, their skin is terrible. They haven't lived really the best lives, but they're still lovable because they have something to share. And so then a younger woman comes around, she regrooms the man, she makes him feel special and good. She takes her skills of living life and she adds them to his. And next thing you know, you see that man, and he looks 20 years younger, and he feels 40 years younger because now her vitality has mixed up with him. Now, because he allows her to do that, she finds even more attraction. See, he's allowing her because in the age gap relationship, both partners are growing together, developing together a new life. And in this new life that they're putting together before themselves, it's invigorating and it's good for the both of them. Humor, playfulness, laughter, telling jokes, the stories. Older men just, as you get older, it's almost like you get a license to speak your mind. And things just kind of come out. They may be goofy sometimes, but you're not ashamed. You're not afraid because you have a history already behind you that backs you up. It's your support system. So the younger woman, when the man just makes her laugh, I mean, laughter knows no age limit. She's going to make him laugh, but she wants to laugh. Women love to laugh. Older men love to make her the center of attention. Older men love to make this younger woman, and any woman, period, to make her feel special and to feel good and to tell her things and to show his sense of humor. I mean, it's a playfulness that he has. It can be a strong magnet between two people because, I mean, it's almost like you're tickling somebody, but not with your fingers, but you're tickling her with your words. You're making her feel excited and involved, and she's enjoying your company and doesn't want it to end. Older men are really good at this. It's about being together and being taken serious, even though there's laughter going on. So, genuine interest is also a very critical thing. See, some of the young guys don't understand. They'll learn. They'll all get it. We all get this. But I mean, I can just remember when I was younger. I didn't think genuine interest was something that I did very well because genuine interest is a part of a circle. It's a part of a cycle. It begins, but it never ends. And what we mean by this is quite simple. So, genuine interest affects everything that you do with her. You've got to ask the question. You've got to remember to ask the question. So, she's not feeling well. And you have a conversation and find out she's going to the doctors. And, she goes to the doctors. She found out that she needs to do this and that. She does it. You ask her the next day, how are you feeling? She says, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good, right? That may be all that the younger man needs to know because he may be afraid to pry. The older man is going to be like, so what did the doctor say? Okay, did you do all that the doctor said? See, he's going to be asking these questions because he doesn't want to assume anymore. Because the older you get, you find out that assuming assumptions, they just don't benefit anybody. So even 2 days later, he's asking the question. A week later, he's asking, how are you? She says, I'm fine, I'm good. Everything's good, no relapses. Okay, now because he's older, he often has known of other individuals who've had situations where they recovered and then the problems restarted again. So a month later, he's going to ask her the same question. How you feeling? You feeling okay? So that thing's never. He may ask you that question for a couple of months because he's genuinely interested. He may have done his own research. He may recall situations that other people have been in or have had the same issue, or he may recall his own experiences. So it's about bringing her into his world, which she finds attractive, because now she feels cared for. So she's like falling for this man over and over and over again because he makes her feel good. He makes her feel happy. And that is his goal. So being open and always able to learn from her. See, sometimes people become specialists in their own lives. And because they made life for them a specialty, no one else can penetrate that. But see, the older man, he tried that years ago. And he realizes that's not a successful thing to do. That you have to be willing to let both parties that are in this age gap open up and learn from each other. You want to learn from her. You want to feel like she's a contributor to the relationship. See, sometimes the younger guys go, listen, I'm the manager of my job. I did this, I did that. Because when you're younger, you're always in defense mode. You always feel like you have to defend yourself. Like, I've got points of views too. We know you have a point of view. It's just not the good one or the best one to use in this particular situation. Younger people don't like to hear that. They want you to take everything they say. So then this is what older people will do. After you've fought for your right to be heard as a younger person, older people just throw their hands up. Okay, well, let's just do it your way. Why? Because it's not worth arguing about. It's time for a lesson to be learned. And so a whole process would continue. And as a result of the process, the truth comes out because the truth always comes out. Older people know this. We don't have to be visionaries to know that the truth is going to come out. The truth does what the truth does. It's the truth, the total 100% truth. So the younger woman finds it just absolutely encouraging that this older man who's got experience, who really doesn't need her help, could probably figure out situations on his own. She's going to embrace the fact that he's embracing her ideas because he's not younger anymore. See, he understands the value, the tremendous value of the partnership. This willingness to grow together it can be a very powerful attraction for a younger woman as she's allowed to grow. And I say allowed not because he's got the power, but that's how relationships work. You know, heads don't turn without necks. The neck has to turn. Now, the head, because that's where the intelligence is, the intelligence of what's in the head, the brain, has to allow the neck to do what the neck can do. So it's the same thing in relationships. The allowance is what everybody does. It's a push and pull. It's a tuggle sometimes, but it's what's expected if you want the relationship to move forward because everybody needs that level of support that allows you to be independent because your independence needs to be respected. And that's a huge thing because parents don't always do this with their children because parents are the most protective in those relationships. And they're always parents. You could be 55 years old, your mother could be 82. You're still her child. And she's going to always let you know her child. But in a relationship between a husband and a wife, it's different. The age doesn't even put a rule to it. Age doesn't even matter. See, you have to always respect your wife, and the wife has to always respect the husband. So it's quite interesting how in the Bible, in the biblical lesson, the man is told to love his wife as his own body, and the woman is told to have deep respect for her husband, who's the head of her household. Now, why is that? Because those are the two more difficult things for a wife and a husband to do. A man, because he can lose his patience, can lose love for his wife. So the Bible says, love her as your own self. Treat her like you treat your own body. No man beats up his body, but he treats his body good. He feeds it, he nourishes, he takes care of it. That's what a man needs to do for the woman. He needs to treat her like that. And the woman, thus, when it comes to the respect, deep respect, see, to be less challenging, because we're all imperfect. But it's also an allowance on both ends for the man to allow the woman to take the lead. Because there's some things she's just going to be great at, not good at, absolutely great at. And if you don't let her be who she is, you will never prosper the benefits of a strong minded woman. And then it's the same thing love. The woman has to learn to love the man. Everybody's got to learn each other's role and how to put these things into play because that's how relationships work. See, being active listeners is key. See, we can talk about communication, which is talking, right? But a huge part of communication is the ability to listen well with intent and showing that you value the things that your partner has to say. See, you can't yell at men. Women, you cannot yell at men. The moment you yell at a man, he needs to multitask. And men, we don't multitask. See, he's got to gather his thoughts and he's got to listen to you. We do one thing at a time. But he's going to go for his thoughts. So when you start yelling, he can't hear you. You're just wasting breath, energy, and just disturbing your own soul. It's just best to calm down. Speak in a way that he can relate to because he'll have his thought and then he'll go back to listening. He's listening and then he'll go back to his thought. But when you're yelling, he can't do both. He's just going to go to his thoughts. And then you have an argument where somebody is saying something negative very strongly about the other person. So if you want that relationship to be successful, listening is key, key, key up there with communication. You have to listen. It's all about how you present and engage yourself and higher levels of communication. So being authentic, being transparent. See, you just got to be vulnerable. It has nothing to do with your age, but see, an older man, he's not afraid anymore. He's not afraid anymore to tell the younger woman who he is, what he's about, where he came from, what he's saying. He's just not afraid for several reasons. One, he may not believe that you can be a solution to his problems, and he already has a solution. Or he may just simply feel like, you know what, I'm going to tell her because she's a good conversationalist, and she's a good healer, and she's got a lot of nice thoughts, and I don't know everything, so I want to hear her points of view. So when it comes to that matter of being transparent, being vulnerable, these are such attractive qualities that younger women just cannot wait to embrace in a man to feel that need. See, both parties become authentic and transparent. See, it's about being real. It's about being honest. It's about being true to yourself so you can be true to someone else. In conclusion, folks, attracting a younger woman is not about being superficial. It's about being real. It's not about paying attention to the societal norms, the societal expectations. This relationship is not about other people. The relationship is about you and your partner. It's about creating a genuine space, a genuine connection based on shared interests, emotional intelligence, like emotional intelligence, humor, curiosity, growth, and above all, love and commitment. Remember, age knows no bounds. We want to thank you for joining us today, and I can't wait to see you tomorrow. This has been a very good discussion. We hope it has been of some benefit. We hope it has been quite insightful for you as we talk about all things relationship. Now, tomorrow morning at 7:30, we're going to talk about some of the mistakes that older men make when they are with younger women in relationships. And we always lean towards marriage because we think that's the purpose. My personal belief is that dating should lead to marriage. So I talk about what I believe. So we're going to talk about some of the mistakes. It's a lot of them. We won't get through all of them, trust me, that older men make when they date younger women. So listen, folks, stay curious, stay open minded, keep searching for love. You'll find it. And sometimes it finds you. But always remember this. Thank you for joining us today on Love is Not Judgmental as we've had our discussion about age gap loves. Age gap love. That's what we talk about. And how older men can attract younger women just by being basically good guys. So we want to thank you again. We'll see you tomorrow at 7:30, but we'll talk again about those mistakes that older men make. You guys have a great day.